What's up, dude? Welcome back to Island Grove Studios, and welcome to the first episode of the Island Grove Short Film Show. Today, we're spinning the wheel to decide what production pipeline we're going to be working on. And the three categories today we have are modeling, set design, and storyboarding. So we're going to spin the wheel and see what it lands on, and we're going to work on each one for 30 minutes. And I don't know how much we can get done in 30 minutes, but we're going to test it out and see how it goes. And we're going to get started and spin the wheel and pick our first one. Let me know if the sound is okay and the music's okay. Okay. Here we have our wheel with the three categories. You'll see the thing pop up when we get to it, but we're going to spin the wheel. If you want to learn how I built this, is all built in Blender. Hey, Rachel. This is all built in Blender, and if you want to see how I built this in more detail, I'll maybe go over it at the end. So, but for now, we're just gonna select our second keyframe here and move it to a random spot. So I don't know what it's gonna land on. Let's see what we get. Modeling. First one's modeling. Sounds good. Okay, so bear with me while I get this set up. I'll go back to my wheel for a second. I'll just keep it on there. And then I'll get my modeling blend file set up. I can't have all the Blender files open at the same time, otherwise my computer will crash. Okay. How's everyone doing tonight? How's it going? Let me know in the chat what you guys are up to. What are you working on? Are you working on your short films? You working on anything creative? Okay, so for the modeling portion, yeah. So the modeling for this one, we're gonna do Roland's. We're gonna work on his character model a little bit. We're gonna dive real deep into his character model in future streams. Of course, we have to finalize his model as well as just finalize his glasses. Rigging is a separate category. We'll get to that later on, but what was I gonna say? Yeah, and modeling can also include like sculpting, because I'm going to be modeling and sculpting the other characters in the movie, and then we're also going to model props and such. So modeling is an all-encompassing kind of category, and then we'll go to storyboarding. Is all obviously includes storyboarding, animatics, and stuff like that, and editing and more story structure of what we're building, and or the story that we're creating. So all of that is subcategories of the main categories, and they'll change to these three categories can change over time, depending on what we're working on, what stage in the pipeline we are in the production. So I think I'll keep the same colors, but switch out the titles and such. So let me switch over to my desktop, because once I switch over, it's gonna start the countdown. So I just want to make sure I have everything ready to go. Can you hear me okay? Everyone, music too loud or anything? I'll cut all this out in the edit. Anyway, all right. I think I'm ready to go. All right. So select my. All right, here we go. Ready? Okay, it's gonna give us a 10-second timer and then we're ready to go. Get ready. Go, modeling. Okay, so we have Roland, we have his character model. We have, if I go into render view for a little bit, I'm not gonna work in render view, but we'll jump in render view for a second and see what we're working with. This is kind of the setup, the stage we're working on for his character model. This is the file and subsequent files we'll work on. There's just a quick sun, and then we have a gobo right here, which you can't see in the viewport, but is shining. Actually, I think it might be doing nothing, so let's shut that off. And so for today's stream for modeling, we can't get done too much under 30 minutes, but what we can do, what I want to try and get going, is create the cracks in his sides, because that's a big part of the story. And the glasses right here aren't final, because the real models that we make are gonna, the model that we make for the glasses is gonna be more this way. It's gonna kind of extrude more and come over here, so the center of his body will go with the stems. But for now, we're just gonna eyeball it and then fix the glasses later. So what we want to do is go into side view mode. This guy is actually tilted a little bit. I don't think anything is parented, so let me we also have a shrink wrap modifier with some higher detail from this mesh right here. So I think what we can do for this is we can probably just apply this and fix all this pose isn't the final pose, because when I go into rigging his eyeballs and stuff, I'm gonna have his eyes closed and fix the texture and stuff. So even this is still not final, but here we go. We're gonna apply this. We're gonna apply that's up to 3. Let me just probably just hide it for now. That's fine. And then go into side view mode. Actually, I'll go into this side first. And this is his center, right? But I want him to parent all these things to the mesh for a second. Go into side view mode and then rotate this way. Maybe the glasses can the stems can come down a bit. That's fine. I was originally gonna try and fix like the angle of the stems, but that will be done later. Okay, so I'm gonna go into edit mode, and right there you can see this is the retopologized shell of his mesh, and then I originally started sculpting with the brow shapes and stuff. This is what we have here. This is what I sculpted, and then I have a retopologized version, which you just saw. If I go into edit mode, this is super high dense mesh. So I have a shrink wrap modifier for this one to the high poly. But for now, I'm just shutting it off. And so then I retopologize it, and this is what we have. But right now I'm going to kind of mess it up and just cut it up, because what we have for the K is knife tool. Yeah. I'll pull up some reference images in a second, but I'm going to start maybe back here and just start cutting. We're cutting up his size like this maybe, and then I'm just gonna hit enter. I'm gonna turn off subdivision for now. This is also gonna mess up his texture too, but we'll have to rebake and shade his reshade it a little bit just to fix the bump map, I think. So then I'm also going to go into here and do this again and kind of just go, I wonder if I could just use the one that's adjacent to it, but like this. And then let's see what happens if we select these and just delete these faces. Obviously you can see right through it. We'll have to model some, what do you call it? It's the inside a little bit. Maybe we can do a solidify modifier, but we'll have to see. That would mess it up. I'm just gonna drag these down a bit and then tweak. I'm gonna tweak the, nope, don't want that. Tweak this a little bit so it's not super, you know, lightning bolt shape. Okay. And then maybe actually, let's see what happens when we go into render view. And then let me pull up, I have a reference image of what a broken golf ball looks like, which would be super helpful for this kind of tweaking we're doing. Let me see, it's under, I should have had this pulled up beforehand, I'm wasting time, but Roland, I think it's in a pure ref file. Mini golf. Pure ref is a add-on, or it's a application that you can use for reference images and such. You can even put videos on it. This is what it looks like, and you can just drag and drop images from Google or wherever you find them and place them. You can also organize them, so you can see I have different categories of things. Golf courses, which you can see some maps of a mini golf course, some close-up shots, reference images. But for this purpose, we want old golf ball. This section has some golf balls that are broken, which is great for what we need. So right here, you can see this is pretty cool. This is pretty slim, and you can see the inside like color, which could be really fun to add to him, to Roland. Kind of, I don't know what color we'll use, maybe just black, just so it doesn't mess up color schemes or whatever. But we could also look at this reference here where it shows the inside of all these golf balls. But I'm contemplating, because an old golf ball, I don't know how old Roland is in the story, because in a really old golf ball, I don't think I have a reference of it here, is filled with little tiny rubber bands. I don't want to waste too much more time, but let me just see if I can pull up an image of an old golf ball. And show you what I'm talking about. Really old golf balls have like really small, like tight rubber bands that are stuffed inside them. That's how they get their bounce and whatnot. But I don't think Roland's that old of a ball, really, you know. So take a couple more seconds finding this, and then I gotta get going. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. So you can see here these cracks in his sides. So I'm gonna leave this up, maybe over here. Can you still see it? There we go. That one's too canyony. I want something thinner. so it's not super distracting. Something like that would be good, but also a nail or something has to fit through it as well. So I'm thinking maybe I like this one a lot. You can also see the colors like I was talking about. So I'm gonna take this. This shape looks pretty good, but I'm going to maybe tweak it a bit so it's not, like I said, so maybe this can be a little bit more open and then this is more closed. Tweaking and moving these around is going to be is going to mess up the textures. Like I said, I'll show you. So moving these around, you can see the texture underneath is getting warped, but right here where it's cracked it's kind of like this is where it literally split, so makes sense. I'm gonna go on the other side and do this one. I think it's a 3. So if I go into ghost mode, you can see this is where this one was. So I want to mimic, I can tweak it after, but I want to mimic, I want it to go straight through. So that's because that's where his axle is going to be inside. I'll go over more of his anatomy and whatnot in future streams because that's part of the story. His glasses and his whole mechanism there is part of the story, so we'll get into it at a later stream. But for now, I'm just gonna go up here, maybe just bring this one across. Maybe it flips up, this one. Oh, I think I messed that part up. Yeah, this needs to be, I can dissolve this vert. I also have to pay attention to the time. If you see it go to 0 and I don't notice it, let me know. But I'm going to keep my eye on the timer. Bring this one down a little bit. Maybe bring this one up. Maybe I can, let me merge. Well, I'm going to go back. Or I'm going to redo that because I'm just going to do this, the edge below it. I'm just going to have it that's going to be the edge of it. So I'm going to merge these two, I think. Widen this part up. All right, and now I'm going to take my face selection and just delete these faces. And I can see that it's off a little bit. It's too high. Like this is the other side. It's higher up, so I want to make sure they're on the same height. So I'm going to go back into see-through mode. What is this even called? I always call it ghost mode. X-ray mode. I like calling it ghost mode though. This one started over here. That makes me think, yeah, these edges are not perfectly aligned, which could be a problem. You can see if I go into ghost mode, like these two are aligned up top, but this edge and this edge are on two separate sides. Anyway, we'll fix that later. For now, I'm going to take these edges that I just cut out and just move them up so the center is the same. Let me and I keep saying that this is going to mess up the texture. But it's all part of the process, right? You know, it's iterating and it's fixing. So I'm not worried about it. Just kind of line it up with that crack a little bit. Don't want them to be the same. That's why this one's kind of like, maybe this one, it's okay if it's okay if they're not super lined up. I just need the center, which is this yellow dot, the center of the sphere here, because that's the axis rotation. And if I bring in a UV sphere, and then go like this, you see this is where the center of the ball is. So as he rotates like this, this is where the screw should be, right? Because the screw is the ends of the pole that's gonna go through and lower, which makes sense because his glasses are kind of like, they kind of have this shape to them a little bit, very slightly, because he's kind of like a sad little dude, a little bit, you know, at the beginning of the movie, but we can lower them. So let me delete that again. Go back to my side view. So right here is where I want them to be. So actually I need to lower both of them to be there. I'll have to do the other one as well. I want this to flip up. This one go down. This one up a little bit, I guess. As long as the center of where the yellow dot is in the middle of the space, we should be fine. So I'm going to go back and fix this side. We have 12 minutes left, and then maybe add a little bit of maybe a geometry in this inside, just where it's covering, but I'll try solidify, modifier. And we also have like, we have this, it's more scraggly, like right here. And this movie is also stylized. It's not hyper realistic, but I'll maybe add some more randomness to this crack. But right now we're just getting the overall shape. And we also end in a try. We also end in this over here. So I think where I messed up before was moving this. Play. Take my son. Whoa, whoops. Yeah, so we can see a little better. Yeah, so this circle is continuing, so I'm gonna, if I do this, oh, okay. Yeah, moving warps it, but sliding doesn't. That's interesting. I didn't know that. I thought they would both have an effect on the texture, but that's interesting. That's good to know. I didn't know that. Bring these closer up so there's minimal distortion to the texture like we were just talking about, and then we can merge these because it'd be barely a difference. Selecting both and hitting Shift R redoes that last operation, so which is merged to last. Okay. Now we can move these. I'm just going to select all of them and just move it down like this because I like the shape that it is. Perfect. There we go. And maybe this one can go. Cool. 9 minutes. So now we have some cracks, and I could make one side shorter, but when in the movie, when he the first time he gets played mini golf, he gets injured, and that's where these cracks come in and his vision blurs. But there's gonna be a shot where like he hits the side of the wall so hard that it's like a squash and stretch, but it's like a squash, slow-mo squash, and then you can see like the tear happen. That's gonna be, we'll storyboard that part at some point. So, wonder what happens if I turn on. Is this gonna? I know it's gonna smooth out, but if I turn on, yeah, we're losing a lot of that, and we're getting some more pinching. That's what I don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna have to make some edge loops. We're also coming to. Oh no, we're not. I thought it was going to that one. We're going to this edge, which is a seam, which we don't want to do. But that's all right. We're just getting the basic use of it right now. So, this one's super jagged, but I also want to keep the. We're designing this on the fly. Okay. Let's see now. Maybe see what happens if I add a solidify, because that might torch it. Let me save 7 minutes. Solidify. Ooh, yeah, see. And I don't know what that is. It should be after this. Well, probably need 2, but again, we'll need to. Oh yeah, that shrink wrap definitely messes it up. So maybe we'll just add some geometry inside, like extrude it. I wonder if creating these edge loops first. I'll fix this in a bit. This is not good. Topology 101, but because we need to connect. This is a end gone. We don't want this. Yes. Just merge these. Does that do anything? Now it's gonna be pinching again, but slightly better. Yeah, I wonder how we can get more. We can well, we can add more points on here to get this, because this isn't going to deform too much. There's no, you know, if I go through and do, if I select just all of the ones we just made and subdivide these, like, just to get more fidelity out of, whoa, out of the crack, so it's not so smooth. Let me see if I turn on subdivision there. Like, yeah. Because I could also do hardened edge. Well, hardened edges. Let me undo that loop real quick. Okay. If I do this, and then if I right click and say edge crease, no, edge, no, not bevel weight, edge slide is mark sharp. That doesn't do it either. Okay. 3 minutes. So this pinching that's happening here, I definitely don't want on this seam, so. I'll have to redo this loop real quick. Yeah, it's still happening there, but let's see what happens when I go into render view again. Yeah, we're getting some grossness right here. Some warping a little bit. Yeah, like this. Look at this circle here. All these are all. That's okay. Let me try and do what I did before, where I go to these edges and then simplify these a couple of times. It's definitely gross. It's not behaving right, but I'm gonna delete this because this is like a crazy end-gon. Maybe just twice. Because I'm not going to bother cutting this up. This would make a lot of edges this way. 1 minute left. Quick, let's do, we're going to do this side real fast with an edge loop. I know it's not perfect, but we only have a minute left. Okay, and then we're going to take these, subdivide them twice like we did the other side. So now it's more angular rather than like a smooth. I mean, it's still a smooth curve, but we can now manipulate some of these points to make it not so perfect like this. 10 seconds. Oh, I think I moved a bird down here. Whoops. Time's up. Okay. Woo. We got a little progress. Let's go into render view and see what we did. Not too much, but slight progress here. It's a little bit goes a long way every day. So we have these cracks in the side a little bit. They're not perfect, obviously. We still have to finish the inside portion. And obviously the texture got warped like we were talking about, but we're in the right path. So, and we're also seeing through the center here. So if I were to create a cylinder, extremely small, rotate it along the y-axis 90 degrees, go into my side view, make it even smaller. We'll have to kind of adjust that, but basically this is the thought process behind it. There's a rod that goes in the middle of him, which is kind of weird, but in order for the shopkeeper, the mini golf owner is also a woodworker like my dad, and when he fastened the glass, the only way to fasten the glasses to him was to make this axle and screw them together at some point. I don't know how, you know, I don't know how big this should be. Like, I want to make an actual, like, look at hardware, see how big, like how thick the diameter should actually be. But, and then the stems of the glasses are fastened to this part. So that's the thought process behind it a little bit, and hope you enjoyed the modeling section of this stream. And now we're on to the next one, so bear with me again while I set up the wheel for the next portion of the stream. Here we go. I'm going to go back to my intro. Okay, so I'm going to save this, what I just did, and bring up my wheel. If you guys have any questions, or if you have any thoughts about what we're doing, put them in the chat. I'd love to answer any questions you have. I hope this is more fun and engaging format for the stream, because just working randomly on something for a while is not the most engaging. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my, again, I can't have all of these blend files open at the same time, so I have to close them out, and I'm gonna have to do that again when whatever we land on, whatever wheel we land on. So the two sections we have next are storyboarding and set design. Those are the next two sections that we have left for this first installment of the Island Grove short film show. No repeat categories in one stream, right? You'll do one of each in one night. Yes. So I'm just gonna do, I won't be modeling anymore tonight. And each section that we finish, we won't go back to it. What I might do is, if I'm really invested in, let's say, storyboarding, let's say we're really working on a shot that I want to continue working on, I will finish the 3 categories, but maybe do the next episode just solely on that one category, like storyboarding or something. Or let's say like that modeling we just did on his crack, maybe I want to do that. I want to really focus more on that, and 30 minutes isn't enough. I'll do an untimed, unwheel, no wheel spinning stream for that one subject. But when I want to cover a bunch of ground and do different, do different categories, like of whatever, if I just want to, freewheel it, that's what this kind of format's for. So, all right, we have our wheel set up, and here we go. I'm gonna fit back in. So we have yellow and blue. Blue is storyboarding, yellow is set design. So I'm gonna take my wheel picker, whatever, my rotation keyframe, and set it to a random value. I don't know where these are gonna land. I'm not even gonna look. Okay. Set design. Nice. Okay, that's what we're gonna do next. So again, bear with me while I set up the set design blend file. Cool. And then I obviously don't have a wheel for just one. The last category is storyboarding, so I won't spin the wheel for that one. That's a given, what we're working on. So okay. See, roll in library. I'm looking through my files right now. Shelf, set, shack, main set. Okay, I have a couple different blend files that I'm gonna kind of mash together. I might switch over and show you those before I set the timer, but we'll see. Okay, we're ready. So I'm gonna switch over to thing, get the timer going. All right. 10 seconds on the clock. So what we have here is our set for the movie itself. This is just a block out of the set, but ultimately this is what it's going to look like. I have geometry nodes setups for some trees and stuff, but for now I'm going to hide those. I have one over here as well, and they're going to fill up more, obviously. This is these two sections here are meant to be like grassland, just woods or something, and then this one in the middle is like a street / parking lot over here, mixed with maybe just more woods. I don't know, I have to figure that out. But so I'm going to turn off because it's going to chug my computer too much if I have these on. I'm going to hide these geometry nodes setups, and we have a rough kind of block out of the mini golf course. These are, you can see, repeat holes. I don't have enough retopologized holes scans that we were doing before. I don't have enough. I don't have 18 of them. So I just duplicated. You can see like these two are the same, these two are the same, like these two are the same. So I just have them roughly laid out, and there's 18 of them in this kind of configuration. This could change as well. I want to add some body of water where there's going to be a bridge, kind of like Island Grove Bridge, but also just some like ponds and lakes and stuff. So this will ultimately kind of get moved around, but obviously you have to start somewhere. So this is where we're starting. And then we have obviously the shack where Roland lives, slash where you pick up your mini golf ball here on this countertop, as well as where the mini golf course owner slash woodworker has all of his trinkets, and like this whole space is going to be filled with wooden sculptures and stuff like that. So you can see right up here, this is the shelf section where Roland lives. We had a preview of the putt practice mat thing here that you see in like the movies or like a businessman office. This is up here, and then we have this driver practice device thing that you stick in the grass, and you hit this ball and it spins, and if it spins perfectly straight this way, it means you hit the ball straight, and if it goes like, if it spins this way, it means you sliced it, this way you hooked it. So this is just, this whole shelf is going to be filled with golf knickknacks and mini golf cards, like old mini golf scorecards, and maybe some posters and whatnot. Maybe there's going to be like an inspirational poster where, because this is where Roland lives. He doesn't live down where the other golf balls live, down here in the basket. And all the golf clubs will be down here at some point. But he obviously got injured in his first round of mini golf, so therefore he was put on the shelf and hasn't been played with, so he's going to be up here. And so we're going to build it out a little bit. So here is this section. So then there's another one I did. Let me see if I can open up the file without messing up too much. It's called Shack. Again, I don't want to waste too much time on this, but I have to bring in another yeah. In this file, we have this kind of shack looking building that I took this picture at a local mini golf course, and I was super inspired by the look of it. That I think I want to kind of model where he lives, the shack, after this. And then also maybe there is some inspiration here for how the table, maybe there's like an L-shaped table to it so that we can get better angles, which can be really cool. So I just want to append this shack reference. I'm going to call this, where's the shack reference? This one. Okay, that wall is just, oh, I see. Okay. Got it. Okay, cool. So if I take this one, this one, this one, you can see I kind of have some golf balls. I also have a potential set where there's some old golf balls sitting up here where he lives as well, so he's not totally alone, but I don't know if I want to keep that. We'll see. So let's see if we hide. I don't want those, any of these things, or this or this. Just that. Let's take all the shack ones and put them in a new collection called Shack All, maybe Shack. Save. And then I want to see what it looks like appended in this, because it's just a cube that I kind of stretched out and it's not. It was just a rough. I was mostly focusing on the shelving area. So I'm gonna file append. Shack collection, shack all. Take all these objects and rotate them 180 degrees and bring this back. Bring it over. So roughly the same size. I got the scale pretty close, I guess. And this one is not. Oh, this is rotated 4.61 degrees. That's gonna mess up. Oh, this is parented? Because this isn't rotated at all. Yes, it is. Okay, I want to unparent this. If I just delete it, does it mess everything up? Yes. Let's see where this is. Yep. Let's hide shack all. Wait. Hide this for now. I'll take this, and the shelves and unparent them to this mock-up shack, so I can just delete. And now if I turn on the other one, I'm gonna take these, parent them to this object, so I can just move this one, and then actually want to fix the rotation of all these. Great. Take this, bring it up a bit, like that. Bring it over, because we're not really lining up. This window is not as big as the other one was, but something like that. There's gonna be some sort of overhang, obviously, because like in a rail, there's like siding and stuff we'll have to figure out. Because the camera is gonna be like basically right here a lot of the time. Not a lot of the time, but you know, let me go in, save this. A lot of the time, I can't even get in here this close. Like, let's bring in Roland real quick. Save, append. I'm gonna get out of any other. Oh, he is in here. Where is he? Oh, he's down there with this person. This is just a mock-up. I don't have any of. I don't have the screws in here. They're just a dummy model that I'm bringing in here for reference, but I can take this, bring it up to where the cursor was here, and let's just bring him over here. Like that, and just rotate him out so he's looking out into the golf course. So like the camera is going to be like this, like to show him, and I can mess around with this like whatever the field of view will be. But I don't want it to be super low. I want there to be sky, like in these shots. Like if I bring in a camera, do I have a camera? Yeah. Oh, it's up there. Take the camera and bring it. I think I was mocking this up for the storyboard portion too. Bring the camera to the cursor as well. Now I want to go into there again. Look around a bit. Like this. This is like the camera. Obviously, so it's kind of limiting. And what is the focal length here? 50. Okay, so let's bring that back to 24 or something. So if you have a super wide lens, you can see it, but I want to get rid of this. I want this to be more wide open. Right now it's a little bit squished. It's like the ceiling is too low on them, but whenever, I don't know what happens with that. Sometimes when I go into camera view mode, like see how everything's tilted? To go into top view mode and fix it. Anyway, so we can take this section of the let's make this, let's hide the camera. Take this face. And this should also, I mean, should be just a beam. This shouldn't be like this, but we're just blocking it out. Taking this, all these faces just so we can bring them up. Okay, that's good. Now, if I just raise this up, oh, I don't want proportional editing. So now I can move this up and down a little bit. I don't want to go too far because then you're messing up with this geometry here. But if I bring it, let's go back into camera view mode. Just bring it up until you can't see it no more. I guess I'll just bring it up to here underneath. And I can take these windows and move them up as well. All of this is just blocking. And I want to, this is another thing, I want to make these windows look like his glasses, because this is where all the mini golf balls live, but this is like Roland's house. You know, this is Roland's movie. So we're gonna model the windows to make it, the shape look like his glasses. And actually I have another reference image I should have had ready to go, but I don't, is over here. When I was doing some AI stable diffusion concept art testing, there was one that came out that looked very similar to this shack. It was very weird. I'll pull it up now. Right here. This one. This looks very similar to this shape we have. Let me fix this back to 50. You can see the windows even. It looks very similar to this, but I want to, I just painted out the top for some reason. This is the original. It put in this overhang thing. I don't know why. Very interesting. I didn't put that in the prompt, but it painted out this for, I tried to regenerate another image, but this is really funny how it's very similar. And I want this, obviously the owner of the mini golf course is a woodworker, so I don't want it to be crappy. Like, this is very old, but I like the aesthetic of like the kind of the wood boards, the boards of the siding to be not perfect and kind of wonky a little bit. This looks dilapidated. I don't want that, but I like the stylization of the wood here, and I want to kind of emulate that, but have the two windows be much bigger, like his glasses. So I have some other images here. This one's kind of similar too, where this one's actually blue, which is funny. But we have this big open window, kind of like where this area right here that we're modeling. This was another one, and we just have different stable diffusion test that we did for the shack. But of all the ones that it spit out, this one was cool because I saved this one because it has this bridge. I want something similar to this where it's kind of like a pond in the middle where you can walk this bridge to get to one of the holes, and maybe you walk through the arch of like Island Grove, not like the concrete large bridge that it really is, but a small little Easter egg. But yeah, so then that's pretty funny. So I'm gonna keep this kind of imagery in mind, as well as kind of this one as well, like this little window. But again, there's gonna be two big windows. So I'm gonna keep those in mind while I work on these in the future. But for now, I think so. You can see even if I shrink median. I don't want that. Actually, if I can do a vertex group, assign these, and now if I just deselect these ones, bring this over to the left, and then select them again and do the opposite. Do the opposite. Bring this one over to the right. Bring this one up bigger. Make the windows much bigger. I put the windows in a vertex group so I can more easily select them. Bring this one up. The right glasses, the right frame of his, I guess his left frame, but when we look at him, his right frame is a little bit smaller. If you see, I could just show you. This one, you can't really tell too much when you're just looking at it, but like you can see this one is above. This one's above, and then this one is also below. So this one is slightly smaller than this one. So I'm going to mimic that in the windows where this window is a little bit smaller, and we're pretty much already there. Oh, I don't want I can even tilt them a bit too, so they're not perfectly level, so it's a little bit stylized. Trying to add some to it. 9 minutes left. Keep it going. How's everyone feeling? Bring this one. Actually, I think we should want to angle them this way a bit so they look more sad looking. That's good. Cool. And obviously they're not really windows, they're just well, I mean, we'll have to knock, well, I guess we could just knock these out so we can see it better. We can always refill them in anyway. And the geometry on it, it's bad anyway. Like this edge here and these ones, this is just roughly blocking it out, but that's okay. We're getting there. Cool. I even might want to make this more square, but I don't want it to be a cube, so I don't know. We can keep like that. Save. This person looks depressed, but it's looking like they're taking a wee. But it's just it's this person hitting the club that just roughly brought it over and duplicated it. We do L. Cursor. Okay. L. Cursor there. And then this person is 6. How tall is this? 6.8. I think that's my height. 5'8" roughly. So this counter is way too tall. It's basically chin level. When you grab, I mean, the counter at a mini golf course is slightly taller than usual. It's like maybe. It's not like regular countertop height, but so we can maybe bring it down, but I also want to take these objects with it. I'm not going to worry about Roland, I can always fix it later. But for the person, maybe like belly button height. So when they walk up to the counter, it's like this tall. 5 minutes. I think that makes sense. This person, also make sure this person's standing on the ground. Yes. Okay. I'm just sticking it through the ground just to get the height right, and I can fix it after. But that looks pretty good. And now I'm going to take Roland back. Yep. He's just in there for reference. Cool. So yeah, this height feels better. Thanks, Rach. Yeah, I think so too. That other one was too tall. But yeah, this feels like you... Actually, I could also, you know, just for funsies, bring in our mini golf club that we modeled in our very first stream. Which is where? Boom, 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 boom. Library. Mini golf club. Jeez. No. Oh, golf club. golf ball, golf club. Object, mini golf club. Oh, stupid. There already is one right there. What a dum-dum. Okay. So bring that to the cursor. And then you know, you pick up your club. It's like this. Transform those rotations. Now I can do -90. If they always have them lined up here to pick your club. They also have them in like that little bucket thing, but this is where, like, this is a smaller mini golf course where you just get handed a club, and then okay, so yeah, you come up here, you pick up a club. That's about right. And then all the mini golf balls are down here. I also don't know if I want to do how many shelves I want to do here, because I don't want it to be messy, but I also don't want it. Oh, we have a minute and a half left. Great. I don't want it to be messy, but I don't want it to be too just like barren. I want it to feel like a nice lived in spot kind of. Last thing I'll maybe do is yo, what up, Nick? What's going on, dude? I'm gonna bring in, I've got a minute left. Let me see if I can append I have a basket made. I made it off, what do you call it? Off stream. Object. Oh crap, I need to, it's all, I guess I can just do all of them, I guess, right? Holder. And then all these big golf balls. And oh no, I don't want this one though. Let me take this one, and parent it to the holder one. Now if I take this, and bring that to the countertop. 10 seconds. Like that. Time's up. 30 minutes over. But this is where all the other mini golf balls will live. If I just open up that file real quick before we move on to storyboarding, I'll show you, because I have some mini golf balls in there. So actually, let me save this one first. Switch the song. And then go to my Finder window. Yeah, right? She got a booty. I think I just downloaded this dummy file from like Turbo Squid or something. I use it all the time. It's good. This is a good pro tip. If you are having trouble figuring out your scale, bring in a mannequin. And because this, you can see the Z is 5.68, which is 5'8", which is my height. So I know like this model is exactly how tall I am. So therefore, you know, I could just pick a 6 feet tall, but you know, it's me. So it's like this, just like this amount of difference, right? So, how you been, Nick? What's going on? What's new in your world, man? What you up to? You know, keep it PG. This is a family channel, not really, but kinda. So, you know, text me the details if you got something crazy going on. But it's good to hear from you, man. It's been a while. Gotta catch up soon. Oh yeah, I was opening up the basket. Focus. Library. Basket. Just finished a release. Nice. Very cool. Is that's your full-time job? Was it a product release? Those are always a celebration, right? Congratulations. This is not opening because I think I have the other one open. So let me quit. And then, oh, it's right there. Nice. Let me save our set we've been working on. We didn't get too far, but we got a little ways. We worked on the windows here. We worked on a little bit of it. So we did a pretty good job. Not bad. Save it. So this is the basket. And I actually have some mini golf balls in here, which I think were a simulation. Let me check. I think I probably baked it. No, it's fine. That's all good, Nick. The green dummy is thick. 2 C's. No, it's all good. But why is this not going? I think it's because this. Well, it's not really. They're not really high poly. Oh, here it comes. Boom. So we have the basket. This is kind of how the basket will. There'll be more colors, obviously. You can see the wheel here. I'm working on maybe doing a new countdown clock for the intro of the Island Grove short film show. So I was just messing around with these colors for the golf balls, but I had another one where it's more of the regular colors. If I just to render view in this mode, you can see it better. So this is like the basket where all the other balls will live, and then Roland lives up on the shelf that you saw before. This is just being driven by, let me check my dope sheet. Yeah. What I did for this was I had this holder object. Let's see. It's freezing up. Oh, they are higher geometry than I thought. Oh, not really. They're fine. So I took a bunch of these balls. Or I think I just took one ball, but I took this holder. I hid the wire basket and used this as the collision object, and then I took just one ball and then did an array modifier like this. And actually the rotation's off, so it's going to be going like to the side here. But if I redo the rotation and then make the factor on the Z, I did it like this and then made another. I basically just maybe duplicated them like this. And then I made all of them individuals, got rid of the array modifier, and then did a simulation where they all dropped into the ball, into this container. And then some of them fell off, like fell over, but I just deleted them. But I deleted the bake. I baked the animation, the simulation, and then just deleted the keyframes because I just wanted this still. So that's how I made that. But I'm going off on a tangent. And then once it's done, I just hide the holder object and then turned on the basket. And this, thank you, Rachel. This shader, this normal map is the same one I used for Roland. You can see the. Actually, I don't know if I think I may have deleted it. Yeah, I have a high poly golf ball. That if I bring in, I think I can. Is it a? Yeah, it's its own golf ball high poly object. And then this one. We're gonna get storyboarding in a second. Sorry for the delay. I'm always on a tangent. You guys know. But I'll just show you this real quick, and then we'll jump into storyboarding. Anybody else have any questions or anything? Let me know. Be happy to answer. Oh, there we go. So. If I hide the basket again. And then solo this. And I think this has a multi-res modifier in it as well. So this is the ball that I used to bake the normal map for Roland himself. The eye sockets got messed up and stuff, but you can't really see it because it's behind the eyeballs themselves. But this is what I'm going to use when I was going and modeling the cracks in the sides in the beginning of this stream. I was talking about rebaking the normal map, and this is what this is after. So if I turn off the multi-res modifier, you can just see it's still a high poly mesh, super high poly. But even when I turn on multi-res, is turned up to 2, so this is times 2, which is super dense. But if I turn it back on, you use this modifier when you're sculpting. It's kind of like it adds more geometry without. It's a non-destructive way to have a high poly mesh to sculpt on without literally having a high poly mesh. It's kind of a workaround. It's really, really great. It works really well. But so I literally sculpted with a brush these divots with a custom brush. I'll get into all that later. But I literally went around this entire sphere and punched these little holes. I could have done this like procedurally with an icosphere, and there's ways to do that, but I wanted these holes. You can't really tell too much, but if you look at the brush, I sculpted I went into a sphere or a plane and I sculpted one of these bumps, and it's not perfectly circular. It's got, you can see this little line. I don't know if you can see it on YouTube, but you can kind of see it from the inside. It's got like, they're not perfectly round, and there's some weird like wobbling to it. And then also when I stamp the shape to it, it spins, the brush spins around, so it's different. Each of these it's not like a duplicate of like the same up and down, left and right. It spins it around like a clock really fast, and then you punch it, and then that way it's all of these are different. Super not necessary, super nitpicky, but this is my movie, you know. That's what we're doing. That's what you do. So I baked this this geometry into a normal map, and if I turn on the basket and the balls, after this stops freezing, yeah, you can see there's some of these even clipping, but if I click on one of these balls, yeah, thanks, Rach. If I click on one of these, you go into the shader view. This is the normal map that I baked from the high poly mesh. Right here. So I just baked it to like this, the UV sphere, you know, the UVs of one of these spheres. And you can do it to any, I mean, as long as the object is spherical, it can be an icosphere, it can be a regular UV sphere, but as long as you can even do a cube that's subdivided a bunch to look like a cube, like a sphere. You could do that as well, but as long as you have a spherical object and you have bake it from that high poly mesh, you should be good. So that's how I made this. I don't need to save. I'm going to jump back into the intro real quick while I set this up. That didn't work very well. Okay. Now on to storyboarding. I don't need to spin the wheel. So I'll just jump right into storyboarding. Storyboard, and this is going to be interesting as well because this is using Blender's grease pencil, which I haven't used. I haven't tested this out really too much. A little bit. I'll show you how I set it up and how we're going to go doing storyboarding going forward, but it's still something I'm not super familiar with in Blender, but I definitely want to learn because it's got a lot of capabilities. So we might not get very far in this section of storyboarding, but hey, we are getting somewhere. Okay, cool. So I think we're ready to go. Got to do this real quick. Okay. Boom, blue. Here we go. Now, get ready. This is getting ready. What we have here is a camera with a plane, not a plane, but a grease pencil object parented to the camera. So no matter where I move the camera, the grease pencil object always is in frame of the camera. So I have the position and the rotation keyframed on frame 1, and these are, I think, constant keyframes. And then I also have keyframe on the grease pencil object for the two, just the one, the pen. I have a white background, which is what you saw here, but I'm locking it because it's just the background. And then we have the pen, or the pen part. So if I go into camera view mode, you'll see we have this window I've turned the white background opacity to 0.35 because if I have it to 1, it's just pure white, which I can toggle on and off. But if I want to, the whole purpose of this is to kind of trace what I want to where I want. Sometimes what's hard for me is to visualize what I want to storyboard, like where's the camera, how low, how high the camera is, the angles and stuff. So if I can use this mock set, I can even zoom in here and see it's kind of what we were working on before with the shelving and stuff. This is what I was working off of with that one, or I was working off of that one for this. You can even see the person here from before. So I can use this kind of mock dummy set to trace and manipulate for different shots and stuff, and I can build this out better. But you can see it's just, they're all shrink wrapped to the floor just for this sake. So waste no time. If I go into this first shot that we're doing today is the first shot of the movie, which is going to be a long establishing shot. It's going to be probably the most expensive shot. Yeah, probably the last shot is going to be the most expensive shot because it's going to be long, push-in shot with all these trees, and it's establishing the location of the mini golf course. But as we zoom in here, we're going to come down this mini golf course and land right at Roland's face. The camera's going to land right here, and he's going to be getting ready to be hit. And then as the club comes up, he's going to be smacked, and the camera's going to turn around, and we're going to see Roland basically just be shot down and do a cool trick, or do some sort of really cool roll towards the hole. But what you don't realize is that after he gets a hole in one here, there's going to be a big car honking because it's actually just a dream sequence. But you don't even, not a sequence, but a dream. It's like a daydream. He's daydreaming about playing mini golf, but he's not really. So that's what we're going to storyboard today. So if I go into my camera view mode, I'm going to go into my grease pencil object and go into draw mode. Draw mode, I have all my pencils, and this is where I'm doing all of my sketching. You can see I can draw on it here. And then let me just give a quick, if I just trace this real fast. Oop, that was crap. Right. I can, am I doing it on the white? Yeah, I am on the white. Crap. See, that's why I have that locked. Lock this. I have to go on my black pen. Layer. These are all your layers, like Photoshop. So I have my white background layer here. Let me redo what I just did. So I can come back in here and turn on, if I want to see what it is, just storyboard, no camera. I can use the background if I want to in the storyboard. There's no rules, but it's basically, it's either a helper or just put it to 1 and just storyboard. I could even just, I could even come in here and just ignore the camera altogether and just say, I don't know, I want the trees, but this is where the background, comes in handy, where it's helping us figure out the staging, the blocking. It's kind of like blocking and stuff all at once, but erase all this. So that's basically the rundown of the layout here, and then every time we move forward in the timeline, it'll jump to a new position if I move the camera. But for now we're just gonna go forth and kind of trace this a bit. And I'm not going to go super detailed in this first pass. Zoom in. And the first pass is always rough, right? We're not gonna model. We're not gonna go in here and trace every single. Well, maybe on this first one we will, because we're setting up the location, but we're definitely not gonna like draw all the bricks and stuff, right? It's not that big a deal. But we definitely want this first frame to look like it's actually a, you know, mini golf course of some sort, and that's why this dummy set is kind of useful, where I'm having all, like I said before, where all these holes are just duplicates because I don't have enough hole designs yet, where we're just drawing these shapes and you don't even, it's not final, it's just figuring out like, hey, this is a mini golf course. I said we're not going to trace all these, but we definitely are for this first one. Really rough. And this is where doing storyboards for 30 minutes is not like, we're already at minute 22. Like, it's crazy that, you know, we'll get so, like, all this is such a slow paced thing that, you know, we're figuring out if this is worth to do in storyboarding. But, you know, like I said, we're gonna just do this on this. We'll figure out the format in future streams. Maybe it's cool. Maybe I'll just do storyboarding in like longer sessions, where in modeling and other stuff is in this short format. But okay. We can just put in some trees, like random, like. Okay, maybe there's like some trees in the foreground. Right, so boom. And then I'll also get the parking lot. Did my music shut off? It did. What's going on? Right, so there's like the parking spaces. And then we get the road. So first frame, establishing shot. Great. Now what we're gonna do, since we have this keyed here, boom, we also have the camera keyframed, boom. What we can do is go out of draw mode and go to frame 10, and then hide this for now. I'm gonna move my camera, do this, bring it in, maybe go a little bit lower. You can see right now it's keyframing. So go boom, cut. So every time I move the camera, it keyframes for me with this little button here. It's auto keyframe. And then also when I start to draw, if I go into draw mode on frame 10, it starts a new one. So if I go back, so now each part where I move the camera and I start a new stroke, it's gonna automatically jump to that So I can just keep going back and forth, and I could even go in the middle, like if I want to do one, if this is too big of a jump, where I'll draw this part. Oh, I also have to remember to uncheck that while I'm drawing, because I want to, I want to be able to zoom in and stuff. Oh, it's really hard to get her. Oh yeah, I forgot. Holding down Shift makes, see this little tail? It makes, it's what's it called? Is it stroke simplify? No. Active smooth. I think that's what it is. Right now you can set this up to like be 1. If you hold down Shift, it kind of, it doesn't make it a straight line, but it kind of gives it a nice like flowy. If I wanted to do, well, for instance, this is terrible. I'll hold down Shift, and it kind of gives it a little bit of a delay. And then I can always come back in here and do like this. It kind of makes it a little bit more easy to do smoother lines, because sometimes it'll, like that, it's janky as hell. It's very helpful. And I don't like how, why is the eraser so big? Oh, I'm gonna make it smaller. Great. Now if I go into this and do, yeah. Oh wait. It's, yeah, it deletes a whole bunch of it. Yeah, I don't know why. Well, it's, I do know why, because it's a 1. It's one object. That's why it's more beneficial to kind of go like this. And I said that we're not going to be super detailed, and I'm being super crazy about 16 minutes. We're just getting the rough. I shouldn't even be doing this, right? Go here and do. Increase my brush size a little bit. Just gonna go like this. And if you watch, I mean, I could go on and on about storyboarding, because it's one of my favorite things to study in terms of like Pixar and just the big studio companies. I watch a lot of videos of behind the scenes of the story meetings and stuff. Like if I had to pick, I'm a 3D generalist, but if I had to pick one area, well, if you do join a big studio like Pixar or Disney or whatever, you have to. There's not a lot of generalists in those big studios because they have a big pipeline where they're trying to fill roles. But if I had to pick one of the disciplines, I think story artist would be definitely for sure the one I would love to do, because when you're modeling characters, and you're definitely putting your we're animation too, every part of it, you have you're putting your own artistic perspective into it. But when you're making someone else's movie, like if you're not the director, you're taking notes from the director and whatnot. But if you're on the story team, you're basically like, you're coming up with the shots. I mean, blocking and all those guys will, the blocking department and staging and stuff, like it's all a team effort. But the story artists, when they put their pen to paper and make all of those panels of storyboards, they go through thousands of pieces of paper. I mean, they do it digitally now, but back in the day when they had them on on a corkboard, like there's one behind me, they would have so many panels with like this. This would be a piece of paper, and they would do that thousands and thousands of times, and they would pitch it. I like the pitching videos. You can watch them pitch the story. It's a lot of fun. I definitely recommend checking out some of those if you haven't already, and maybe I'll put some in the show notes after this. Potentially, I think I have some saved already. There's a really great one on YouTube. You should YouTube. There's a Pixar story artist that is showing how they pitch a storyboard, like a scene in an actual setting, like in the actual studio setting. So to show you how they kind of flip through the pages and do the voices and stuff. I'll see if I can find that one, put that in the show notes, because that is a real fun one. But like I said, grease pencil is an area that I'm not super familiar with, but I've been doing a lot of storyboarding recently. Okay, that's good. I also want to put it in the person, obviously. Perfectly fine, and then we'll put in some trees. I think I'll have to go back. There's gonna be like a big forest over here. And maybe some sky, I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. I have to go back. Oh, I actually have another frame here. So I'm not seeing that keyframe. Where is it? Oh, is it in? Do I have to go into timeline? Trying to find where that keyframe is, because this one is different. Like it should be there. Oh, I have to click on here. Okay, so this one, delete this one. I have to you have to click on, I always click on camera. That's why these camera keyframes are showing up. I have to click on the grease pencil in the outliner. So I can move that to 10. So I'm gonna go back to this frame and put in the person. I got 10 minutes, I got time. And you can see that it's kind of like when I erase, it's not like Photoshop where it's like deleting a big chunk. Like I'm just erasing this part, because if I go into edit mode, you can see like all of these lines are just literally like curves that they apply a pre-made stroke around it. So I can even go in here and like you can see these points. See? So I could even go in here if I really wanted to subdivide these, hit G to move. Oh, I don't want proportional editing. G to move. So if I wanted to, like, I guess if I wanted to just delete with more fidelity, I can just subdivide these a lot. right? Like this. And then go back into draw mode. And then I can delete more like this, but you're adding more geometry, like literally more geometry. So it's not a big deal because this is just drawing, so it's all good. But that's why erasing is getting rid of this whole chunk, because it's literally just this line. But now we got these 2 frames. We've got 8 minutes left. I'm gonna hit save. Half hour, we got 2 frames. Awesome. But we'll see if I turn on, go back in object mode. If I turn on my white, you can see this is what we have so far with our storyboard. So this is the power of combining the parenting, actually it's actually funny too, because if I click on the grease pencil, you can see it. It's literally just a plane right here. And because when I go into draw mode, I'm drawing on the view. Like I could draw here. Well, whoops. I could draw here, right? But it's over here. We don't want that. So when I go into camera view mode, I'm drawing on this plane that we parented to the camera. So that's the power of combining parenting the grease pencil object to the camera. You can move the camera wherever you want and then trace what's behind it to get a more detailed approach into what you want to storyboard. And then when I get even closer, like when I get to this point down here, I won't need it as much because this is gonna be like more like he's gonna move his facial animation and stuff. So all of these things, getting the camera placed, it's not necessary, and I don't want to use it as a crutch, because that would hinder kind of the creativity a little bit. But it's a good tool to use if I need it. So this is proving to be pretty good. Cool. So now let's keep going. 6 minutes. Let's see if we can get one more. Click on the white background, bring it down again. You can even turn it off, and you're getting everything you can turn off just with the eyeball. But these different layers. Okay, let's go to 15. Take our camera. Actually, and just hide this for now. Bring this down more. We're going to be kind of coming down the mini golf course. So this is 15. If I do another pen stroke in draw mode, starts a new one. Whoop, again. Uncheck camera. We're getting kind of a Dutch angle, but I don't want that for sure. Is this camera tilted? How is this possible? Is the camera tilted? I just said that. Oh, it is a little bit. Okay. Ah, there we go. Sweet. Okay, now we're good. Draw mode. Four minutes. With this one, I might draw in some of these bricks. like that. And again, I can use shift to do this kind of lasso leash. Doesn't work all, like if I want to make this tight corner, you have to kind of follow, it's kind of hard. So it's good for like bigger arcing things like this. Oh, that was bad. Yeah. And stop it and just kind of, oh, getting my hands cramping up. This. Zoom in. When you zoom in, it doesn't change the radius of the brush. There might be a setting where you can change that. Like when you zoom in, the brush actually does get bigger in size. But I don't know why you would want that. Again, getting way too granular, and then these are kind of overlapping, so I can just add in some lines here to indicate like these bricks. It's not the focal point anyway. 2 minutes. Okay. Speed this up a little bit. And I don't know how detailed it with, like, I don't want to waste time. I mean, it's not really wasting time. But like, the storyboard is like a blueprint for the movie, right? So, but like this character, for instance, I'm not gonna like do hair and like go super detailed with that because it's not the focal point. We're just trying to get the, oh man, can I do this? Whoa, way too thick though. Yeah. 55 seconds. Let me just back up a bit. Seconds. Three, two, one. Time's up. Boom. Time's up. We did it. I mean, we didn't really do too much, but we did some. I'm just gonna take a little bit more time to clean this up. Kind of just show. Maybe I'll go a little bit over time and get to the point where we see him. Oh wow, this is really small. Because this is the camera, right? This is how crazy, like, this is what the camera sees, but I'm zooming in this detail. Like, this is still very far away. But I'll just put in some trees. Okay. Oh, this is, oh, and you know what? I don't know why, but the camera, I want them all to be constant. I don't know how to do that. How do I do it all constant? Key, interpolation mode, constant, all that. Okay, perfect. I think that's gonna do it. So if I turn back on my grease pencil, we have our first, boom, establishing shot. Coming in closer, so we get this kind of movement. Makes sense. And the composition and stuff will change a little. I mean, like, this is just getting the ideas down, rough pass of the storyboard, but I'm going to continue a little bit longer and finish up. Maybe I'll do one more frame at frame like 20. I don't know why I jumped to should have put this at 20. I can still. I bring this to 20. I bring the grease pencil to 20. And it sticks. But the beauty of this is I can go back. Say if I want to add, like, if this, I was gonna add one more, like at 30, I'll hide this and start. I'll go right up to Roland's face. Like, this is where I want the camera to end. Right, something like that. I don't know. But okay, if I think that this is too big of a jump, see, like that, it's like I would want to add one like in the middle. I can do that. I can go to 25, 26, any of these, and do an in between where it's like this. Say, or even do an in between here. I mean, it's all wonky because it's not lined up properly. And I can turn on my guides a little bit. So this is like, so he's more in the center. See, I can add in-betweens. I can do as many as I want. Well, I can do, you know, up to however many frames I have, but I can always shift them. But that's the beauty of skipping. Because if I just did frame 1, 2, 3, like if these are, there's no room to, I'd have to separate them all again and space the grease pencil keyframes out. So skipping 10 frames gives you some wiggle room to do in-betweens. But I think, so 20 is the one we just did, right? Let me turn back on grease pencil. Yeah. So if I turn, I'm just gonna delete. I know we just did these two in-betweens, but I'm just gonna do the Roland one, just so we have a good ending to this stream. And then, because we've just been doing backgrounds, so we're just gonna do that quick and then call it a night. I think this has been pretty successful. First Island Grove short film show. I think it all went pretty well. Draw mode. I'm not gonna add all of these, but some of these lines to indicate bricks. Anyway, and then we're gonna go to frame 20. 25, was it? No, 30. Okay. Start a new stroke, and now oh, you know why? It's doing it behind because I didn't think of that. Huh. Interesting. That is the problem. Because it's drawing over here, but it's because the camera's so big. Does this make it? Yeah, this messes it up. Okay. Interesting. What do I do? Can I do on top? Let me go back into draw mode. I mean, camera view. And let me see if I can, oh, you know what I can, I know what I can do. File, save. If I take this grease pencil, go into the object, visibility, in front. Boom, there we go. Now it's always, even if it is past. This is where the end of the keyframe is. I mean, the end of the camera is. That's why I was drawing behind Roland, because it's literally behind him. So now when I go, it's literally always in front. Perfect. Go back into my grease pencil. Oh, I don't want that. Oh, I want draw mode. All right, just quickly do a couple more minutes of this and then we'll be out of here. So take this and bring my pencil back up bigger. Drawing some of these bricks behind him. Okay. There. Now the main dude. And the another thing I forgot to mention was if I select the camera, I also keyframed. Did I keyframe the lens size? I didn't. I can always keyframe, like if this shot is too, like, I like to shoot Roland in a wider lens, so I can keyframe the focal length. So if I do this keyframe, and then if I do this as like 20, let's say 35. Oh no, that's gonna mess up the frame. Okay, that's fine. I could always grow. Let's do these constant. I can always grow the white background layer. I'm just testing this out real quick. Oh, goodness. I'm gonna go back into draw mode and just, oh shit. Delete these sides. Crap, no, stop doing that. Okay. Now if I lock, oh, I could have just locked. I'm such a dummy. Undo what I just did. I'm gonna lock the pen layer, and then just so I can select these, and I'm just gonna grow the white area bigger. So even if it's, if I go back to 20, what is it? Should have been bigger. I guess I just did it on that one. I can just grow the white background a little bit just so it fills it. So that's fine. Now I want to zoom in a bit. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay. I'm gonna lock the white background and go back to my pen tool. I'm gonna just delete, I'm just gonna erase everything I just did. Okay. Okay, and then, oh geez. I can always, if I go like this and it's too wide, that's when I can go in edit mode. And then go into proportional editing and just tweak this. I can grow my selection, shrink it like that. But like I said, we're not going to be super nitpicky. Okay, if I go to draw mode, grab it, move it over. Sometimes when you do too many strokes super quick, it bugs out. This is kind of like it's kind of like drawing with Illustrator versus Photoshop, because when you draw with the brush tool in Illustrator, it's kind of like this. Like you can't do a lot of little dashes, or like you can't do a lot of it. Well, I guess that worked out pretty good, but it's harder to do like fine detail lines like you would with a Photoshop brush or something. But I like this tool for the sake of with the camera and whatnot, like I was talking about. It's gonna be impossible to draw a perfect circle, so we're just gonna rough it out like this. And I could even, for Roland himself, I'm just gonna do Okay. But I want him to be more confident in this shot, so like he's ready to play in this shot, because it isn't quite reality. I don't want him to look angry, obviously, but something like that. And then you can't forget about the something like that. I don't know. We're just roughing it out again, like some trees. And this isn't like, it's kind of wonky right here, but well, we're done with this stream anyway. We're just fiddling. But okay, now let me just see. We want to fix this pose a bit and make it like he's looking down low, like ready to be hit, kind of like more like where his glasses are kind of more lower. Like this. But kind of more of this pose, and this is why I like thumbnailing a lot. So we're gonna just kind of eyeball it. We don't want him to look pissed in this frame, but this is just the first pass for tonight. So let's see what we have. Let's turn off save. Let's turn off overlays, and then bring up the white. See what it looks like. So we got the first frame, zooming in, boom, boom, boom. Nice. So like I explained before, I'm definitely gonna add some in-betweens here and here, because this is a big jump. But like maybe just 125. But so far so good. This is I'm pretty psyched about this. And this is just the first pass again, and we'll be iterating and whatnot. So that is our show for the evening. The first Island Grove short film show is wrapped and ready to go for next time. Let me jump back into my Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Rachel and Nick, and if you're still on, and everyone else for joining. Really appreciate your support and watching my stream, and watching the evolution of our short film rolling take shape. It's a lot of fun. Looking forward to doing this. I don't think I'll be back on I have to figure out a legitimate schedule for this kind of format, but I think tomorrow night I have to work late on full-time work, but more storyboarding figures, right? But I'm super lucky anyway. And so I'm not sure when I'll be back on to do the second installment of this, but it'll be very soon. I'll let you guys know in the community posts and stuff when I'll be on next, as well as what was I gonna say? The next stream But as well, I was thinking of something else specifically. Modeling. I forget. Whatever. But anyway, thank you guys for joining, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.